What's up, you guys? Sasha Boss here, and today I'm doing a special video right here. I'm doing a video on the top 10 Marvel Legends that Hasbro needs to make ASAP. Literally. Because some of these figures that the fans have been wanting for a while, and I've been wanting these figures. I think they're kind of cool. This list is some of my favorite Marvel characters, some characters you may not know about, some obscure characters, some things I think Hasbro will love to make us in the future. Well, let's begin going down our list of Marvel Legends. Before we make the actual video, make the list, these people did not actually make the cut, which we have Old Man Captain America. Yes, even though it'd be a really cool figure to get Old Man Captain America, I don't think it's time for Hasbro to give us a bunch of old men, even though it'd be just like a lot of trench coats and hard plastic, like to bend the elbows. I don't think Hasbro is ready to give us that, even though it would be a cool figure. Another one is Howard Stark. I don't think it's time for Hasbro to make a Howard Stark figure, even though it's a character that a lot of people want to see from the MCU. Finally, we have, closing out the males, we have Bruce Banner. This character, I think Hasbro would love to make this figure, but I don't think the time is right for this figure. So maybe they release him with She-Hulk, but I don't know. I think it'd be such a really cool character that Hasbro would actually make down the road, but I don't think right now is the exact time for Bruce Banner. Another character too is Mystique. There's so many adaptations of Mystique over the years, and I thought this is probably one of the most neutral looks for our Mystique. Looking super cool. I don't think it's time for Hasbro to make another comic book one, even though the last one's Wolverine, so maybe they can actually do it. So, those, in my opinion, those are the figures that did not make the cut on this. Going at number 10 spot is Doc Sampson. You may be wondering who Doc Sampson is. Well, he is a character that is really smart, he has super strength, and he got exposed to radiation to make him get superpowers. So that really looks like in the comics. I really feel like Hasbro needs to make this figure. They only made one release of this figure, which is the early Hasbro days, which was the Fang Chu Build-A-Figure wave, which that Build-A-Figure is gorgeous and super hard to get, and super hard to come by. That's like a really hard grail, and I think this figure would be really cool because there's so much you can do with it. I know we give us like Bucky Cap mold and use some of the boots and things from different figures, make this thing make it actually accurate. Basically, like a comic book one or a modern take. I really think we're gonna get a modern take on the character, just because I think Hasbro thinks it'd be. A lot of us really want some obscure characters to include our Avengers shelves, and I think it's about the time is right. And I mentioned this at the end of the video, which kind of got me inspiration for this. At number 9 spot, we have Old Man Punisher. Yes, Saj, we have another old man. Yes, this is Old Man Punisher from the Old Man Logan comics. He is such an obscure character, and he looks super cool. I think Hasbro would love to use the Peter B. Parker mold one more time and pull off this amazing Punisher figure. They give us like some different arms and different legs, but overall, I think this Peter B. Parker mold, it would be so cool. Because we already got the Old Man Logan, Hawkeye, and Maestro, which I still got to pick up Maestro, but we did not get Old Man Punisher at all. You can also give him the hairier look too, but I feel like Hasbro would typically just use the body mold they already had, which is the Peter B. Parker body mold, to give us this beautiful Punisher figure. And also, there's not a lot of Punishers out there in the market. There are some, but they're not really re-released Punishers in a while. So maybe the next deluxe figure would be a Punisher of some sort. Coming at number 8 spot is some character that everybody knows. It is Khonshu. Yes, Khonshu. This figure, I'm not sure how Hasbro would sculpt this figure. There's so much you can do with Khonshu. You can also give him a translucent head, neck, bulge one piece, and give us like this beautiful cowl of the crow. I think it looks so cool. There's so many variations on this character. You can actually give him the white tuxedo right here, or you can give him the classic comic book look, which I really want. And I think Marvel is going more bigger and bigger and bigger with with their characters lately. And I think they can just pull this off at the price increase, give us a lot of plastic for what we need. And I think this would be super sick to have on our shelves. Come on, Hasbro, we need a Conchu. Amazing character. I just want to know more about him. Yeah, he's super cool, guys. Super cool. Going on to number 7 spot on the list is Hank Pym. Yes, Hank Pym, guys. Hank Pym is a figure that I've been wanting for a while in the collection just because he's so iconic in the MCU. And he created the Quantum Realm, and that's a big part in the Ant-Man films. And he's a really cool scientist. I love learning about all the things he created and how he became the Ant-Man and different missions like that. He's just a really cool scientist. I think he'd be such a cool figure to have on the shelf alongside your Ant-Man and your Wasp. And I don't think Hasbro ever made this figure. I think the time is right. I think it gives like 2 different head sculpts for the figure, interchangeable hands. I think you should have a golden Hank Pym. So yes, please Hasbro, give us a Hank Pym. Okay, this got a little weird on the list. We got number 6 spot going to 8-Ball. This guy is a hardcore gambler who wastes a lot of his money on playing pool. And this character has a bank robbery, and he put on this really cool all-black costume and with a magic 8-Ball on his head. I feel like Hasbro got 2 different body molds that we could use. We could use the Senior Professor X body mold, or the Bucky Cap mold for this figure to make it iconic and classic to the comic book pages. I think it'd be so cool to have a magic 8-Ball on your shelf. But also, another thing you can do with this head sculpt is you take it off and put on a Black Series body to have one of the Spaceballs characters, which I think would be really funny to have that too, in action figure form. So there's customability in this figure. There's a lot of really fun poses you can do with this figure, and it's almost one of those weirder characters that Hasbro just needs to put out there in the market. I think it'd be so much fun to have this character. Like, I can't imagine what poses I put this thing in. Because like, there's so much really cool stuff for this figure. Next is one of my favorite Marvel female characters. This is Lady Death. This figure, I don't know too much about Lady Death besides she helped Thanos in Infinity War. There's also so many varieties and different looks for this character. Like, this one is almost a modern take on Lady Death, this like Skeletor head, and there's a lingerie kind of look, which looks really cool with the cape, because Hasbro actually can sculpt that cape really well. And another look we have is the bride look, which is really cool. I love that rose on the hand of Lady Death, looking super sick. And then there's also the classic appearance of Lady Death. We give us the Princess Leia body mold. I think look really cool. And I think having a Lady Death with her Thanos would be amazing. The comic book Thanos that got released a while back, I think it'd be super cool. I don't know if you guys think the same thing, but I think Lady Death would be such an iconic character. Next up, guys, we have comic book accurate Hulkbuster. Hasbro has not gave us a Hulkbuster before. This thing would be so cool. It could be the next HasLab project just because of the pure size of this thing. And it looks amazing. I got a lot of inspiration from this video from actually reading the War Hulk comics. And I think some of these characters would be so much fun to have on the shelves. Like, having like an accurate Hulkbuster would be so much fun to tame our Hulk. And a lot of people have Hulk in their collection. We don't have a Hulkbuster that's accurate. And I think it'd be so much fun to pose this thing and play around with it. I think it'd be cool with lights and sound. I don't know. And effects. I think it'd be so cool to include an Iron Man figure. I don't know what Hasbro's going to do, but this thing would be super fun. And I'm hoping down the road we actually get a comic book accurate Hulk. Coming in at number 3 spot is almost a NECA kind of style figure. This is Mink from comics, you know, from the Thor Ragnarok, you know, this little pink little Krang looking thing. This is totally different. It almost looks like Scumbag from TMNT. I just love the pure size of this figure, of this character. It looks so much fun. I think Hasbro was a field day, like, literally coming up with articulation and how this figure actually works and solidarity of this figure. I think it'd be so much fun with all the accessories and shootable hands. It'd be a really cool deluxe figure, or actually a 2-pack if you come to my next list, which is comic book accurate Korg. Like, you have Korg and Mink together. I think it'd be such a massive fun 2-pack for Hasbro with the $80 price hike, which is a little pricier for a 2-pack of giant figures. but I think it'd be worth it. I think a lot of fans will have a field day like taking photos of this, playing with them. I think it'd be so much fun to have these on our shelves. And this is a diamond select version of Korg. Looks like an action figure form. I think Hasbro's job would be a little bit better and a little nicer. Probably a little smaller, in my opinion. But yes, use a thin body mold. I think it'd be amazing. So hoping Hasbro would actually next up, guys, we actually have some honorable mentions before we move on to our list. Starting off the honorable mentions, we got World War Hulk. I think World War Hulk would be such a great figure, be a behemoth on your shelf. I think it would add some spruce and color and contrast to anybody's Marvel shelves. I think it'd be such a fun character just to have, because it's a different version of the Hulk you ever like aware of. So next up, we also have MODOK from the MODOK TV series. I think it'd be really funny to have this figure. I'm just really wanting Hasbro to make it for a while, or Mezco or somebody. I just love the look and the size of MODOK. I think it'd be so much fun to have it. Even though we got a comic book accurate MODOK, I just want the TV series MODOK. I think it's time. Next up, we have a Deadpool, Hitmonkey and Guy 2-pack. This is a 2-pack that I Hasbro to make. If you're a big fan of the Hitmonkey TV series, it's amazing. I just love how the assassin named Guy goes along with Hitmonkey going on a quest and killing things. It's awesome. It's like a wild animal massacre, killing all the humans. It's really cool. I just really want Hasbro to make this figures. I think it'd be so much fun to have a translucent guy in a tuxedo, like a Phantom kind of look. It's Hasbro's totally capable of it, and Hitmonkey would be phenomenal there too. Next up is the Blob. The Blob did not make the list, even though we've all been asking for another re-release Blob eventually. I think it'd just be a very cool figure to have in our collections. I think it'd be so much fun to pose, and I don't know, I love big chunky plastic figures. So next up, we actually have Cowboy Deadpool. I wish Hasbro can give us a Cowboy Deadpool. I think it'd be so iconic and so much fun. But I don't think at the time is right to give us another fun Deadpool. Next up, we actually have our comic book accurate Luke Cage. This figure, I know Hasbro has made a previous one in the past, but never a comic book accurate Luke Cage. There's so many adaptations for Luke Cage. I think it's time for us to get a comic book one. So I know a lot of fans are loving Luke Cage. I'm not really familiar with who Luke Cage is as a person. Like I'm not really familiar with him. I know a little bit about him, but not a lot. I just think it's time to get that figure to Hasbro. Go with another obscure character. We have our 3D Man. I think 3D Man would be so much fun to have in our shelves. I think it'd be like a Johnny Torch or Mr. Fantastic style body mold. But I think it'd be so much fun to have him in the collection. Maybe a Bucky Cat mold, but I think it'd be fun. I think it's one of those weird characters that everybody wants in their collection. Just, I don't know, secretly want some weird characters, and I'm hoping Hasbro will do it justice and just obscure Marvel characters in general for a wave, including a weird build-up figure. Another character right here, this is Agnetha, character we've all been wanting, comic book and regular, an MCU version of this figure. I think it'd be really cool to have her on the shelf. I think it'd be a really nice standard figure just to have. Something basic, something kind of cool to go along with your comic book, Wanda, Scarlet Witch, and Doctor Strange, different things like that. I think it'd be really cool. And finally, we also got our Howard the Duck. Like, Howard the Duck, ladies and gentlemen, I think it'd be such a fun figure to re-release Howard the Duck into the main line or the vintage collection line. I think it'd be so much fun to have Howard the Duck. A lot of fans, but I don't know, one of them have been asking for Howard the Duck for a while. I think it'd be so much fun. Like, he's so funny. It's so funny. I just love Howard the Duck. It'll also give us the 1980s movie directed by George Lucas version 2 would be funny. I don't know. Hopefully Hasbro, fingers crossed, we get any of these figures on this list. Okay, coming at the number 1 spot is this is one of the Grail figures that I've been wanting and searching for. I missed out on it. This thing is iconic, looking super cool. I love the Blue Beast. I think it looks amazing. I think Hasbro would kill it. There's so much they can do with this figure. So much adaptations, accessories, and soft goods, and all sorts of fun things for this figure. So I'm hoping Hasbro would pull off the trigger and give us a beast. Well, there you have it, guys. That's my take on the Marvel Legends essential figures that I think Hasbro needs to make ASAP, just because there's so many characters and then the whole entire Marvel Cinematic world, the comic books and movies and all sorts of things that Hasbro has not touched up on or ever made a figure of. So I'm hoping down the road that these figures become reality, and hopefully you guys leave in the comments who do you think, what are your opinions on this video, and also, do you guys have a favorite character on this list, or what characters in general do you guys really want to see that Hasbro has not made yet? Leave it in the comments, and please like and subscribe, and see you guys later for another review.